beauties, today I'm going to be showing you how you create this lovely wall detailing like this on a budget. Also for your rental. So you definitely can buy pieces like this, and it usually costs you prices like this, this, or this, you know, anywhere 300, 500, whatever, and it adds up depending on your square footage. Well, I'm going to show you how you can do all the work yourself and save your money, but at the same time elevating your space. So, if you want to figure out how you can create this beautiful wall detailing in your own space that causes no damage, continue watching. I feel like if you're like me or on my page, you probably have seen it on your own timeline and other things, molding that looks like this. And honestly, I want it. I love it. I like it. I crave it. Okay? I crave it. But if you live in a rental, most likely you either live in a really old building so it comes with it, or you just have to live without it. But now you don't have to. I'm going to show you how I created this lovely wall detailing in my rental. I have this blank wall. It's just white, it's plain, it's nothing interesting. It has my pet snake, an artwork piece that I did, and my lovely couch that I do love so much. But like, there's nothing going on. There's no interest, just a blank white wall. And we need some interest. We need something. Something. So, what we gotta do is clear out that living room. So, once I remove everything out of the way, what I'm going to do is show you that I bought these wall trim panels, and what I'm doing is painting and priming them. I just laid them on some 2 pieces of wood and painted all along. Also, ignore my living room. I'm doing like 5 projects at once. When am I not doing 5 projects at once? Once I have them all painted and primed, this is what it looked like. So this is what we're going to start with to make that wall trim. I'm showing you the detailing and showing you what it looks like when you do it. Now, what you're going to need is a box cutter and a saw. I also wasn't sure what pattern I wanted to do. I was gonna do the single pattern, but it was too skinny, so I decided to put 2 of them together, and this is the options that I have. So once I figured out what shape I wanted, I decided to tape the back of it, so when I cut it, it's going to be even and stuck together, and I'm not gonna have any difficulties. I did at some point end up using my staple gun over the tape, but if you don't have a staple gun, you can use tape on the back. So now you're going to want to get the right angle, so I'm using this box cutter to make sure that I get everything that's going to end up connecting into a 90-degree angle when I connect everything together. At 22 inches, so we're going right there. So tip to tip. Oh, did we get it? Oh my gosh, we got it right on the money. Do you see that? Look at that. Oh, you see, I'm trying to bring it down so you can kind of see, but basically it hits right at the tip. So 22 exactly. Once you do that, get comfy because you're gonna do a lot of cutting. So once I had all my pieces cut, I laid them on the ground, and then I'm going to actually connect them and see what pieces best fit together. Because sometimes when you're cutting, especially with a cutter like this, your angles might be slightly off, and when you're connecting them, they may not make the perfect 90-degree angle that you want. So what I did is to make sure I checked everything out, so before I laid them on the wall, I dry fit them. If you watch my video, I always talk about dry fitting. I dry fit them on the floor to make sure to see that this is going to be the piece that works best together. As you see here, they're all connecting and making the perfect 90-degree angle. I went around and checked each corner. At this point, I was very proud and happy as what they look like. Now it's time to put them in sections and get them ready to put them on the wall. So when you have all your cuts done, you're going to have a set of 2 long and 2 short. And so I'm going to stick the first one up, and you're going to see what I'm doing, and then I'm going to explain to you exactly what I did. We're going to be using double-sided tape to stick them on the wall. Your scissors, your double-sided tape, and your trim. As you see there, I have it stapled instead of just taped. Once again, if you do not have a staple gun, you can use the tape. I make sure to line them up. You really only need 2 pieces, really. You don't really need 3 because it's not heavy. You're going to pull it off and you're going to stick it onto the wall. Now, I will show you exactly what I did here and then I will explain after. Basically, as you see, it's not fully stuck down yet. You're just gonna connect the tips and then push it down, and we will fill these little gaps here. So I'll show you my 90 degree. I just prop it in and you can see it's perfectly 90 degrees. I put my leveler on here, leveled. I don't know if my camera is focusing on it or not, but yeah, it's leveled. And I have my 6 inches width apart, and it's not really, a 2x4 isn't really 4 inches, so that's why I'm saying 3 to 4 inches, because it's not actually 4 inches that way. But anyways, you can see if I put this in there, it's perfectly lined up. So just by using, set yourself up for success, especially when it comes to things that have to be straight. Certain DIYs, like you can get away with it or whatever, but something like this, you have to have it straight, leveled. Set yourself up for success by making templates. So for instance, you don't have to necessarily have a piece of wood, but like I didn't have a piece of wood the length that I wanted, and I'm not going to cut a whole piece of wood, so I just cut cardboard. That's so much easier than me getting out my saw and cutting a piece of wood. This wood I already had just laying around, so I'm using this. But get a piece of cardboard, get your templates out, so then you can measure them and make that easier instead of using your tape measure and having to constantly measure each time you go. This even helps because you can literally just slide it down and make sure it's the same width straight down as well as straight across. You can just put it in there and see your width straight across when you have it there. 2 other important tools I would say is to get yourself a 90-degree angle and a leveler. You may get away without using this, but I just find it quicker and easier just to pop it in and straighten it, and then just double check that you're actually leveled, because your wall may not be leveled. So you may have a 90 degree, but your wall may not actually be leveled, so you might have to angle it or switch it up a little bit. But just by having, if you really need to, you can get away without doing the 90-degree angle tool and just have one of these where it's already cut, and you can basically put that there and see if it's 90 degrees. So you may not actually need this leveling tool here, but you can use just like your cardboard thing that already has the 9 degrees on there. Just make sure that you cut it straight, or you're using the corner of the box if you're doing it that way. It's pretty simple after that. Once you have those things set up and ready to go, it's easy to bang it out. Actually, I'll let you know another tip that I did. I prepped all of my panels beforehand. Instead of me sitting here for each one, sticking it then going, sticking it then going, I just kind of sat there, watched my show, and I'll show you. I stuck all of the command strips, double-sided tape, whatever you want to use, on here. So I pre-stuck all of them and have them spaced out. So this is one group, this is another group, and they're all there. At first, another thing that I did is there's green on there is because at first I was gonna just use the one panel. I probably explained this already in the beginning of the video, but I wanted it to be thicker, so I actually just stuck 2 panels together, and then I tried using tape, but that wasn't strong enough, so I stapled them together, because at first I tried the tape, but the tape was not strong enough, so then I just used the stapler and put that there to keep them intact. So that's why you see tape and staples. I tried using the tape first, that wasn't strong enough, so then I used staples. And it's a lot more firm, and also if I want to leave with them, I feel more secure with the staples on it instead of just the tape. But again, you don't have to do that. You could just buy a thicker panel, or you can use the one single panel if you feel like that's what you want. I just wanted something a bit more larger on my walls after when I did see it. So your prep work is important. All of these, I'll have the strips on them ready to go, so then I just grab lower panel, bigger panel. That's another DIY. If you're new to my channel, I can't do things at a normal pace. I have to do 20 things at once, so we're remodeling my whole living room. I'm literally gonna build a fireplace. As you see in the video, all I'm going to do is continue the same steps and process to make this. So I'm going to use my 90-degree angle, I'm going to use my spacers, and that's going to help me make each panel line up perfectly. Okay, can I just ask you guys to just ignore the trim, because I'm thinking about painting this wall potentially. I wanted your guys' opinion. So you can see that the trim is like yellow brown because that's what the color of the wall used to be. And I painted this whole place white. You've probably seen in other videos or maybe my hallway video. But yeah, that's the color. Is it focusing? Yeah, that's the color it was. And you can see I kind of went close to it. So when I show you the end shots, are they going to be painted or not painted? Probably not painted because I want to paint this wall a specific color that I'm not sure yet about if I'm going to go through with it. So just ignore that, please. Just ignore the baseboard, the base trim, just ignore that, even though it's so bad and so yellow. Do I just fix it for the video? Because everything else is basically fine. I mean, the patches on the wall, but the wall's old. Do I? I'm having a mini attack. I will paint the baseboard trim at some point, but that's going to be towards the end of the video because I did not have my paint on hand, so do ignore that, okay? I do stress about it a lot in this video. Okay, so like the way the lights are bouncing, hold on, I need to use my camera. I can't. I just finished this whole panel and was talking and wasn't recording. The amount of times I had to fix things because I realized I was not recording. I'm not doing it again, but we have the third panel out. Sorry, I have to see it in a moment because I thought I was recording and I go to it and I'm like I did both and got nothing. But we did it. Number 3, I'm about to do number 4. I'm not recording number 4. I'll show you when I'm done and when I move to the next steps. Now that I have all of my panel pieces up, I'm excited to show you exactly what it looks like. It has come together beautifully. It didn't cost that much. I will link everything in the description for you of all the products that I used to do this project. And if I ever forget anything, make sure to leave a comment and I will make sure to always update the description box for you. So make sure to double check that if you're wondering what products I use and from where. This project honestly did not cost that much. I am so happy with the way it turned out, and I'm excited to use this technique in other spaces and be able to elevate my space and hopefully help you guys want to do the same. So let's take a look as to what it looks like. And now, because of the Christmas holiday, I decided to decorate my house with it, and look how it turned out. I am so happy. It looks so cute and so jolly. I probably want to do the other wall now because it just needs it, but I am happy with how it turned out and how beautiful it looks. It just adds an extra detail and adds some character and personality, and it is an older building, so I feel like it kind of goes with the building. And yeah, I don't know, I hope you guys try this technique out and realize you don't need to spend these crazy amount of money to do something that you can do at home. You just need to put a little elbow grease into it. Let me know if you want me to do in my videos a cost breakdown to my DIYs. The reason I don't do that is because depending on where you live, everything is going to cost different prices, especially depending on when you see the video. So sometimes I film my videos a year, 2 years ago or something, and I'm just now finally editing it. And so the prices might be different then, but if you guys would like to kind of, if it helps you gauge what prices are like, or I could do US and Canada and kind of show you the breakdowns as to how much it would cost in both places. And if you live somewhere else, I am sorry.